and welcome to the Grappler podcast, our latest episode today. I'm your host, Tony Greathouse, and I'm really excited about today's guest. We have nationally ranked 157-pounder from Central Michigan University. He's a former state champ at Chelsea High School, Corbyn Munson. In this episode, we talked to Corbyn about his progress throughout his career, how he's gotten to where he's at, and what he has looking ahead to the rest of this season for CMU. And then at the end, we also go into deep waters with some fun questions, just kind of pick his brain about some interesting stuff. So great show. I think you're going to like it. Also, before we start, I'd like to thank the sponsor for today's show. It's the Swab Agency, Farm Bureau Insurance. Matt Swab, he's a former high school teammate of mine, actually. And he's got his own Farm Bureau agency. He's based out of Southwest Michigan, but he can service anyone in the state of Michigan. So he's a former wrestler. He's a current coach. Coaches at Stevensville Lakeshore. He supports the sport of wrestling. So we like to support people that support us. So, anyways, if you need anything with insurance, even if it's just to have someone take a look at it, make sure you're getting a good deal. Give him a call. I'll put his banner on the page here with this. And if you're listening to the audio version, then you can go to swabagency.com. So it's SWABAGENCY.com and look him up and give him a shot. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. The Grappler podcast, episode 3 with Corbyn Munson. Let's go grab him and see what he has to say. All right, Grappler podcast. I'm here with Corbyn Munson from Central Michigan. Corbyn, thanks for coming on today, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you're the third episode that we've done. First Chippewa, so good to have a Chippewa on board. Also, excited that we have an NIL deal with you, and we're doing your T-shirts, which we're really excited about. I got one right here. And you're like the best. You're like the fastest shirt seller that we've had. I don't know. People love Corbyn Munson.
It's awesome. Yeah, I got a lot of people texting me about them, asking when they're going to get back in stock.
Yeah, we literally can't make them. We can't make them fast enough. Like my wife's on the way to the printer right now to drop off more shirts. It's because we gotta get more of them printed out. But it's been really cool. And for anyone who doesn't know, the jersey tees, we've done them with you, Cam Amin, and a few guys from Michigan State as well. But we basically all the proceeds go back to the wrestlers. So we're definitely not making a ton of money off of them. It's really for you guys. So it's our way to kind of support you. And it's been pretty cool. Like I was watching the Big Ten Network last weekend and seeing guys, walking around in the background with the jersey tees on. It's pretty cool. So you probably haven't got to see anyone wear them yet because yours just went for sale. People probably just started getting them like Saturday.
Yeah. I saw actually, I got one. It came in the mail like the day of our duel, but like the Michigan State duel, I can imagine a lot of people had them there.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Rayvon Foley was actually wearing his on the Big Ten Network, like on the bench.
Oh, that's cool. I gotta do that.
So yeah, but anyways, yeah. So that's the T-shirts. But let's talk about this year. Talk about what's left for you and kind of where you're at. So last weekend, you guys went 2-0 as a team, and you were also 2-0 yourself. You pinned Anthony Gibson, who's a fellow Michigander, and then you won 11-6 against SIU Edwardsville. Was that your guys' first home meet this weekend?
So we didn't start having we started having our home duels after the new year. So we had 3 back-to-back. I'm trying to remember the first one.
Oh, you wrestled Clarion, right? Last weekend.
Clarion, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2-0 weekend. It looked like a good weekend for you guys. Talk about kind of how you felt and how things went over the weekend.
Over this weekend, I felt pretty good as a team just because we started off our schedule. We have one of the tougher schedules, I feel like, to start out the year. And we've been at a low point for a little bit, but now that we beat SIUE, who was I think 3rd in the MAC. I don't know. I looked at the rankings for a minute, but it was pretty good just because me personally, I kind of start pretty slow in the matches. I need to start fixing that, picking it up. But for the team, I guess it's a better indicator of where we're kind of at. We kind of came out slow against Clarion, and we didn't end up as a team beating them at the start of the year. But with SIU and NIU, I think it's tough to wrestle at home just because uh, the environment, I feel like.
I feel like you guys
And
have one of the best environments.
yeah, no, yeah, it's pretty cool. I love wrestling here just because there's a lot going on and we're
Yeah.
a lot closer. Like we all care about each other. And I feel like when you have like a big crowd, it's hard to like get that kind of passion, I guess.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was good for our team just because we've been low at a low point, and now
Yeah.
that we're starting to pick up the duel and show kind of where we're at, it's
Yeah.
good.
Did you so you wrestled Anthony Gibson. He's a Westland John Glenn native who wrestles for Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois tends to get a lot of Michigan guys. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back through the box score if there are any other Michigan guys that wrestled for them. But did you ever wrestle Anthony Gibson in high school?
So Gibby's always been a weight class above me. I mean,
Okay.
we only grew up like 40 minutes apart, so I'd
Yeah.
see him a bunch, but he was always bigger than me. So I
Okay.
kind of started to put with bumping up. I haven't wrestled him before, but the thing with NIU too is that Ludwig went to my high school, so I
Oh
kind
my
of know.
gosh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. I knew he was a Michigan guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I totally forgot. So I'm guessing they probably recruited you.
Yeah, they did.
That's totally interesting. I forgot about that.
And Steve went there too, Steve Blyce.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Um, that's very interesting. Yeah. So good weekend for you guys. This year overall, like you said, you guys have a really tough first half schedule. You wrestled number 12, they're around number 12, NC State. You wrestled them in a duel. You went to the journeyman duels where you wrestled number 1 Penn State as well as UNC, Oregon State, who are both top 25 teams. And then you also had Midlands and a couple open tournaments too. You wrestled, I think you're like 17-8 this year. So I mean, you wrestled a lot of matches and a lot of really high quality matches. How do you think that is going to help you, going into this second half?
So I think it's a good indicator of where we're at. It's good to get those, the way our coaches explain it, it's good to get those high level matches at the start of the year so we know what we can work on. And so as this second half starts to, like we start wrestling more in the MAC schools and we can, try and perfect what we needed to work on when it came to wrestling those high level matches. And so being able to test yourselves with, maybe not as high caliber, but like the MAC schools, it seems as though you can work on certain things in matches that you probably shouldn't or you can't work on during, wrestling some guys in the Big Ten or stuff like that.
Yeah. You got a dog?
I do have a dog. She's right here. I was hoping she would be fine.
Wants to be on camera.
Oh yeah.
What yeah, it's almost like with your schedule, it's like because we've been talking to these Big Ten guys, it's almost like you guys kind of do the inverse. Like the Big Ten schools, because the Big Ten is so crazy, they almost try to like really soften up the first half of the year. And it's almost like you guys did the opposite. Like you're like, all right, we're gonna ramp it up the first half, get out and wrestle these Big Ten, ACC team, that way, when you get into the MAC, you guys are ready to win the MAC, hopefully.
Yeah, it seems like there's one or two ways to approach the season. It seems like some guys are either just gonna stay in the lineup, wrestle every single match, doesn't matter who and how tough it is, or they're gonna try and save their bodies. So it's kind of like a one or the other kind of thing that I've been seeing.
Where do you fall?
I just do what my coaches tell me. I mean, I kind of blind faith into Borelli, Ben, and Hef, and Stencil. So
Yeah.
I choose to wrestle when I can.
I'm hearing an echo. I hope it doesn't.
Oh, my bad.
Do you hear it?
I don't know.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't come out. All right, cool. So this year, like I said, you're 17-8. You had a big win in the first half of the year. You beat Ed Scott from NC State, who's ranked top 10. And then you've had kind of some ups and downs, some tournaments, you look really good. And then some tournaments, it looks like, I'm only looking at results, so I don't really see a lot of the video, but just from looking at the results, it looks like, some tournaments that maybe you're not as happy with the finish. I guess, where are you at now? And like, what are you doing to try to level that out and stay at that, level where you're beating those good guys every time?
So typically, are you still hearing the echo?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. I know exactly what you're saying because like typically some of the matches that I've lost, I've kind of just didn't come out really hot. I tend to do that. I tend to not, come out firing, tend to ease into the match. Maybe it's because I'm not warming up right or something, but some of the matches I lost, I kind of just, played their game, let them keep it close, and then they ended up taking me down towards the end of the match and winning it off of that or something like that. So I have a bad tendency of wrestling to their level, as
Yeah.
in like intensity wise. Like if they don't want to get tired, I don't want to get tired, blah blah blah, which I shouldn't be doing. Yeah, it's definitely cost me. Opening up more. I just got to start going earlier. I feel like attacks are there. It's just I got to get going. No,
Yeah.
but as of right now, I think I'm starting to pick it up a little more. I mean, against Gibby, he took me down off the start. I mean, most of my matches I wrestle, I get taken down first. Probably isn't a good thing, but
It's definitely not ideal. Yeah.
no, it's 100%. And then the Clearman match, I got taken down. So, but I feel like I make up for it, or what I don't do on my feet with on the mat, just because I feel like I'm more confident on the mat and I'm better than most. I like top wrestling and bottom wrestling, whereas neutral, I kind of hesitate a little bit.
Yeah.
We're working on it right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've always liked watching you wrestle. I feel like you're, I don't know if you tend to be, but you seem to be really kind of like wide open when you wrestle. Like you scramble through a lot of situations. You're good on the mat. And so I feel like if you're feeling good going into the end of the year, you could be super dangerous and someone who could make a run. So yeah, I like watching you wrestle. You went up to 157 this year. You were 149 last year. Talk about kind of what went into that, like what the reasoning was, and how it feels now that you're up at 157.
Yeah. So last year, it's probably about this time of year. I was cutting to make 49, and it was just like sucking the life out of me sometimes. Not saying that I got really big during the season, but like maintaining your weight and staying down for, 6 months out of the year it takes a toll.
Yeah.
And kind of, I'd say it's about the Kent State match where like I'd get in on a shot and then we'd scramble and we go out of bounds and I just feel exhausted. And so we kind of talked with our coaches after seasons, about probably a month after season. Johnny Lovett and I were
Yeah,
both.
you guys flipped.
Yeah. So we were both in the room and he had a step on a scale and Johnny was only weighing like 160, 161, and I was closer to like 170. And so he goes, yeah, that's probably best if you guys switch weight classes, it. And as of right now, it's been up and down. Yeah, I still got to grow into 57. I feel like, and, some guys are just strong and would try and back away sometimes. So I got to figure out ways to get in there and trying to figure out the weight class a little more, just because they're a lot bigger. They're harder to move around, but I feel like I'm quicker than most of them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to help you now that you're into, you're not wrestling in tournaments anymore. You're into like a Friday, Sunday routine kind of more.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like what you were going through last year, maintaining at 149, it gets it gets tough, when you have to make it twice a week, every week. And so
Yeah.
now you don't have that. So I feel like it's probably something you'll see more of an impact, not having to cut as much weight at this
Right.
point,
Yeah.
especially when you get to like 2-day weigh-in MAC tournament and potentially a 3-day weigh-in.
Right. Yeah. I'm feeling a lot better, especially in the duels, the hour weigh-in. Like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot on the rundown with JJ. We talk about the like on-site weigh-ins for high school kids, and we're like, it's the biggest thing. Like for a Michigan kid that goes to college. I mean, I went through it, a zillion years ago when I was in college, but I feel like I, coached a lot of kids that have gone through it too, and it's a huge difference having to wrestle right after you weigh in.
Oh yeah, it is. And like the home duels, like in high school where you got like the 24 hours or you weigh in after practice
Yeah,
or something. I don't know.
you
It's
just eat
funny
all
because
day.
yeah, I mean, it's funny too because you can see some schools like all their kids towards the end of the year will move up a weight class or move down depending on some.
No, I think it's definitely like, I mean, you probably got a lot of guys from other states that do, like, I know Ohio does all on-site weigh-ins. It's like, so for them, they get to college and they're like, what's the big deal? Like this is all we're done. But then our guys, like Michigan guys, get to college and they're like, they all go up 3 weights when they get to college. Because
That's a good point. I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I guess it does make sense. Is California the same way? Because it seems like a lot of kids.
I'm not sure.
Not sure on that either.
I'd have to ask. There's a lot of them that go to Michigan State. I could ask them.
Yeah.
Um, all right, moving on. Fifth year senior. So you're a fifth year senior. This is your third year in the lineup, right?
Fourth. Yeah.
Fourth year in the lineup. Okay, so
Yeah.
last year you were 26-9, third in the MAC. You qualified for the national tournament. That was your first time qualifying for nationals, right?
Yeah.
Year before that, you were 6-5, and then I didn't look up what your record was the year before that. But you've progressed from year to year, right? You made pretty big jumps. What do you think? Like, why do you think you've improved? Like, what areas have you seen making adjustments from year to year?
I think a lot to do with it is what I've been doing in the summer. Just because when I got to college, I kind of picked up the routine from like Matt and Dre that like once you come here, you move here. Like I didn't really go home that much, especially in the summer. I got my apartment and I hung out here. I went in every day, I did something every day that, it sucked, but it made me better. And I felt like the last 2 years at the MAC tournament, I was one match away from qualifying both years. And so that kind of stung a little bit, just knowing that I went to the tournament too. I went and watched every year I didn't qualify. And like
Okay.
I watched kids I beat,
Even the COVID year?
What's up?
Even the COVID year?
Even the COVID year.
How'd you sneak in? I feel like you're not allowed to go unless you're family.
Right. Well, just say that Logan Parks and I were brothers that day.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but yeah, I found a way to get in. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it too is confidence. I didn't have a lot of confidence early in the lineup, and once you start getting in the lineup, it's you start seeing progression.
Yeah.
And so, and that's kind of where it started off. I mean, I was at 41 to start, and then I moved up to 49, grew into the weight class, got a little bit stronger, got a little bigger, and now I'm seeing the same thing at 57. So I think a lot to do with it though is what the choices I made in the summer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. You last year, so you qualified for nationals, and it was in Detroit. So
Yeah.
you're hour from where your house basically.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did it feel added pressure? Did it feel good? And talk about kind of what that was like, and also what you need to do to improve on it. Last year you went 0-2. So what do you need to do now to progress and try to make a run, into the tournament?
So during the year or start of the year last year, I saw that I was in Detroit and I was like, all right, I can't not qualify and do the same thing I did last year. I mean, it's right down the road. And I had like my dad had a bunch of tickets that he wanted or he got early because he was confident I was going to qualify. So it kind of
No pressure, son, but I bought 100 tickets.
But it was first time being there. It was a lot to take in just because you warm up. You don't warm up out on the floor. You warm up in the back, and then they call your name. You walk out. When you walk out, it's just everybody. Thousands of people cheering, and I don't know. It was the first time I saw it, and I felt kind of tense wrestling, especially the first match, and it kind of was a lot to take in. But now that I've been there and I've seen that and I know what to expect, I kind of have a better idea of what it's like, being in that situation and not really focusing on it too much. Where the first time I was there was a lot to take in. It was.
Yeah, this year it's in Tulsa, so
Yeah.
your dad and whoever else comes is gonna have a little bit bigger trip. I just made the
So,
decision. I'm driving this year, by the way, because the flights to Tulsa are ridiculous.
are they really?
It's so bad. Yeah. So me and a couple other guys were driving.
Yikes. We're probably gonna drive too, in all honesty.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not either.
But either way, I'll be there, and I'm expecting you will too.
Mhm.
You do have, if I read this right, you do have another year of eligibility with the COVID year. Do you plan on competing another year?
Yeah. So yeah, it works out perfectly too because I graduated last year and I'm kind of going for my MBA right now, and so it's a 2-year program.
Cool.
And so that COVID just worked out perfectly. So I am here to wrestle though. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to go out and get a job yet. So
yeah, no, take your time.
mm-hmm.
You can get your whole life for that. Cool. So let's see what else we hit on that. Oh, so you're from Chelsea, state champ from Chelsea. You're right now you're the pride of Chelsea. What led you? I guess we already talked about it a little bit, but what led you to Mount Pleasant over Northern Illinois or whoever else was recruiting you? What made you land in Mount Pleasant?
So my high school coaches, we always came to the CMU teen camp. That's kind of where I started talking to Borelli, but the biggest thing was probably my high school coach, who was Dakota Cooley.
Yeah, that's I was going to ask if he had anything to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of had a big factor in that, just because he wrestled here and he came back home and started coaching for us. I think it was my junior year, because I didn't qualify for states my freshman or sophomore year. And he came in my junior year, and that's kind of when I saw a big difference. But yeah, he was a big reason why I went to Central, just because he put me a lot through the workouts that we did up here. And then the CMU team camp, I kind of built a relationship with the guys on the team. I was friends with like Drew Martin and Luke Rakowski and Brock and stuff like that when I went up. And so I had a lot of people, that like a pipeline almost.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Central. A lot of kids that I've coached have gone to Central. So when I used to coach in Tecumseh, and I coached Landon Pelham, I coached Drew Martin, and I coached Vince Perez when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And then at Brighton, I coached Mason Schrader, who's there too. So, and then wait, is Mason the only Brighton guy? I think so. Aiden Smith went to Illinois. But anyways, yeah. So, it seems like a lot of Michigan guys. It's like there's like a certain brand of kid that fits at Central. It always has. Is that something they talk about when they recruit you? Because it feels like they go after these guys that are like just hungry and like hard workers. And I don't know, it's like a certain type of kid that ends up at Mount Pleasant.
I think they look for the kids that just want to wrestle. There's like, you can see kids in the rankings and stuff that like, no, they're here just because they're good at it, but some of them don't pan out, which we've had guys on our team who were like top 20 kids not pan out here.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, right. True. But I think they pay attention more to who wants to wrestle in college and who actually wants to do something over, just coming to college just to do it, get school paid for.
Yeah, I know a lot of, just a lot of guys that have wrestled for CMU, and especially like older guys like my age, like, Mitch Hancock and Bubba Gritter and Jason Mester and Tyler Hubert and Jory Barry, who all work with me at Home Pro Roofing. And it's like, and Ryan Cunningham too. And it's like all they talk about is like just how hard you guys work. Like you guys are like just like really, really, everything. Coach Borelli's got like kind of a military background and mindset. I think that helps kind of bring the most, get the most out of you with that approach.
Yeah, just because I think college kids need structure. And so when he's got like a military run, which it is kind of military run.
Yeah.
But that's a good way to put it. I think when guys like college kids need that. I mean, we've had kids transfer out of here. We have a lot of kids transfer out of here and not do so hot or not do as good as they did when they were here. And it's because of that type of structure that we have.
Yeah. That makes total sense. Yeah. So this weekend you guys have, I forgot to write it down. I want to say you have Duke on Thursday. Is that right?
Yep.
That's like 2 days away. So you guys leave soon?
Yeah, we leave tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Are you driving or flying?
We're flying.
Okay, good. That'll be a long drive.
Yeah.
So you're going to Duke, and then are you driving from Duke to the Chippewa Challenge? Because you got the Chippewa Challenge, which is a really cool event. But where's that at? Campbell?
That's in Campbell this year. Yeah.
So it's Central, Campbell, Cal State Bakersfield, and American.
Yep.
The reason it's called the Chippewa Challenge is because all the other coaches are former Chippewas. Right. So you got Scotty Sentez and Win Mahalik at Campbell.
Right.
You got Luke Smith, Lightning Luke Smith. He's my age, Cal State Bakersfield. And then you got Jason Rowley, Tom's son, at American. So it's a pretty cool event. Are you going to wrestle all three schools?
Yeah. So it's a dual form. It's like a dual format. So all the teams will wrestle each other.
You'll get 3 matches in one day.
Yep, that's the plan.
Be sweet. That'll be cool.
We're bringing like extra guys because last year we had it here and we had probably 16, 17 guys wrestle total.
Okay.
I didn't wrestle the the Cal Bakersfield match that day, but I'm confident I'll be in all 3 of them.
Gotcha. So that'll be cool. So you'll get 4 matches this weekend, and then after that, you guys will get back into your MAC schedule.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We go down to Ohio. the week after that. I'm just looking at my schedule over
Yeah,
here.
I figured. So anyways, yeah, the season's honing in on the end of the year. I guess what's your approach, for the next 3, 4, I don't know how long you got, 4 weeks or whatever until the MAC tournament. What are you focusing on for yourself?
So for myself, we've been picking up practice a little bit. It's been a little more intense where it's like shortened practice, but we're doing a lot more intense, like live wrestling, not so much like drilling anymore. Just because I feel like a lot of kids on our team just like need to be grittier, need to be a little more mean. We have a lot of nice kids on our team, which can hurt us, but I got to focus more on like specifically wrestling wise, like on my feet, moving, hand fighting, snapping, getting them tired, getting them, reacting off of my stuff. Whereas I feel like conditioning wise, it's better. I don't think conditioning for me is a huge factor in my matches when it comes to like me getting tired, but moving around, like, I got to move them around, get them a little more tired.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to work on, especially because I'm a little bit smaller than some of the guys.
Use conditioning. Use your conditioning to help you.
And a lot of that comes from hand fighting. Coach Heffernan, really good coach at showing it, and like he knows what to do in certain positions, especially on our feet. So I've been working with him a lot lately.
And he was a 57 pounder, right?
Yeah, he
He's
was.
got to be about the same size as you, so good
Yeah,
work partner.
him and I are about the same weight
That's
exactly.
perfect.
So.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So last thing here we're going to do is a new segment. You're the first person I've ever done it with. I'm going to call it Deep Waters. It's like our bonus rapid fire, I don't know, type section.
All right.
Deep waters, the metaphor is like in a wrestling match, end of the match, you
Yeah, yeah.
deep waters, to try to break them.
Mhm.
So I'm going to take you to deep waters with some tough questions, try to break you.
All
So
right.
first one is one guy in the room who you don't want to wrestle with. So it's like a live, you're getting ready to go live. I lose you? Oh, you're there. Getting ready to go live, and you don't have a partner. The guy you don't want to look over and be like, oh shit, he doesn't have a partner either. Who's that on your team or in your room, I guess?
Uh, Other than Hef, just because he can bring it up, I feel like I try and be that guy, but usually Johnny Lovett and I have to go head to head, and we have some pretty good. Yeah, we have some pretty good go. So usually when don't have any partners, and I look and I see them, I'm like, all right, it's time to pick it up as practice because I know we clash heads sometimes. So
Yeah, I mean, Coach Effern's probably got old man strength by now. How old is
yeah,
he?
he's like I'm 27, I
Oh yeah,
think.
he's getting there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think when you break 25, you automatically just get stronger.
yeah. For some reason, that if you have tattoos or if you have a kid, I feel like those are the three.
Yes. Or if you're married too. Once you're
Yep,
married.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. You're on it. Okay. Two biggest influences in your wrestling career. I mean, I know there's probably a zillion, but like two people that really stand out. And for you too, like I feel like you made a lot of progression. Like your high school year, like you said, you didn't qualify for states in the beginning of your career. You ended up winning a state title. And then same thing at Central, you didn't qualify for nationals your first couple of years, and then now you're a contender to make a deep run at the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Two biggest influences.
All right, I'll give for high school. I'd say Mike Young. I don't know if you know the name or not,
Oh
but
yeah, I know
he's
Mike
oh
Young. He
yeah,
was a Fargo coach back when I was in high school.
yeah. He's been coaching since he
Been around for a
graduated. I
long
mean,
time.
he's 65 right now,
Yeah,
and I mean, when I was in high school, he's about 57, 58, and he would just beat me, and I mean, abuse me on the
yeah.
mat.
He's
That's
in
kind of
great
where,
shape.
yeah, phenomenal. He still
Yeah.
wrestles with the kids right now. So I'd probably say him. And then college, I'd say I'd look towards Borelli just because I can build relationship with him. And, he's a really good coach. I feel like he's the reason why I've made the progress I have.
Yeah. I was really hoping that you'd say Ben Bennett because I have a funny story about Ben Bennett. Do you know that he won Fargo his senior year in high school?
Yeah, I think I know this.
Has he ever told you who coached him when he was in Fargo?
No,
You're looking at him. It was this guy.
really.
Yeah.
Were you
Fun
guys
fact.
teammates at the time?
No, I'm actually a lot older than him. So I'm like 5 or 6 years older than him. So I
Oh,
had
really?
just graduated college,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a last minute thing. Like we didn't even know he was coming to Far. At least I didn't know. I don't know if he knew, but like they were out of nowhere. They're like, yeah, these guys all need coaches. And I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
who you got? And they're like Ben Bennett. I was like, oh yeah, I'll coach him. I got him.
I'll coach.
And
Nice.
so yeah, I like to use we's a lot. So we rolled through the bracket, and we won Fargo. Me and Ben.
That's awesome. I'm gonna say something about it. I'll ask him about
Ask
it.
him, be like, hey, how'd you win Fargo? Be like, who helped you? See if I come up. All right. Next one. The worst ass kicking you've ever had in a match, in practice, in a street, whatever.
In the street. Nice. I like that one. I mean, I gotta give it to Hef just because recently, dude, I mean, maybe last year there's been times where like we've been wrestling and I just don't want to get up, just absolute ass kicking. But you just got to get through it, and then you got to run right after, and it's kind of demoralizing sometimes. In a match, I will say, my freshman year, I wrestled Sasso, and it did not go the way I wanted it to, obviously. But
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a lot different now, just because my coaches made it up a lot.
Are you guys the same weight?
He's 49 this
I'll
year.
say he's still 49. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Have you ever beat up on Coach Huff? You ever
On the
get
mat. On the mat. I look forward to the practice where like, all right, we got 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If you escape, you're out. That's kind of where I look forward to. But on our feet, it's kind of a toss up a little
You
bit.
ever like talk crap? You ever like give it to him?
Sometimes, if I'm feeling good, I will, but I'll go to take him down and he'll just hit me in a roll out of nowhere. And it's like, dude, did I really just get hit in that? Or like, he'll do stuff like that all the time. But no, yeah, we go back and forth. I feel like I like it.
Very cool. All right. Running out of time. Most gratifying win that you've ever had, like win that stands out the most to you in your career.
All right. Last year, Kanan, that was a fun match for me just because I got the pin and
That in the duel?
store
Michigan.
in the Michigan duel. It was at home and there was a lot of people there, and it was cool just because he was a big name in high school, knowing him, and he was a couple years older than me, so everyone's like, oh, you don't want to wrestle Kanan, blah blah blah. And then this year was probably Ed Scott, just because I saw it on the schedule and I was looking forward to it. So I was like, I really think I can beat him.
Yeah.
I just got to wrestle my match, and I did. So
Cool. What is your favorite pre-match song to listen to? So like when you're getting ready to walk out on the mat, or I mean, are you a music guy? Do you listen to music before you go?
I listen to music a lot.
I feel like everybody does now. Yeah. So what's your favorite pre-match song?
It might be a little out of the ordinary. It's not like a hype song, but I'm a big Zach Bryan fan. So
Country song.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like contemporary country. Yeah.
He's on the Yellowstone show. I think it's him.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I listen to whatever. I listen to this YouTube stuff. So like a bunch of unreleased music. Probably like Honey's my probably favorite one, just because it's relaxing and it's not really intense. I like Someday or.
Interesting. So you like to like calm down with the music?
Yeah.
Well,
I get really nervous. Doesn't matter who I'm wrestling when I go out there. Every match, I'm really nervous, and like I can't drink like energy drinks or stuff before the match, or else I'll start throwing up after.
Okay. So, that's interesting. Yeah. I've never, most guys are like Metallica, or like they like heavy metal or something like that. So that's cool. That's a little interesting tidbit into you.
And well, our walkout songs, I try to make it fun for everyone. I think last year I picked It's Tricky.
Good one.
And this year's Good Vibrations. So I try to keep it entertaining too.
Yeah, when I was in college, my walkout song was Who Let the Dogs Out.
That's awesome. Good one.
I didn't pick it. I didn't get to pick it. Choice. That was picked for me. But anyways, it was I was from Mason, where the Bulldogs, just like Chelsea.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So off like a sub question of that question. So when you listen to music before the match, I'm like very interested in pre-match routines. Like I'm very observant of it, and I think it's interesting to me. So at what point do you take the headphones off?
Right when Johnny walks out. So
literally like headphones off, headgear on, go.
Headphones, yeah. It's just headphones off, spit my gum out, and then I'll run out there when right as I see Johnny's match winding down. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's because some guys are like, they take the headphones off like one match ahead, get their headgear on, so they're like ready to go. So,
Hmm.
anyways, yeah, interesting. All right, last thing. If you could go back in time and tell yourself, see yourself when you were a younger wrestler, what's one thing you would tell yourself, to something that you know now that you didn't know when you were younger?
Specifically towards wrestling, just
Yeah, not like buy Bitcoin. Yeah, like like towards wrestling.
yeah. Um, Hand fight, just
Like learn to
hand
hand
fight.
fight.
Like a lot of in high school, you can get away with like putting your head here and the kid will grab your head and you can just duck it. Or like I was really big duck stuff. Like I'd always like try and duck kids or throw them by rather than snapping their hand off, getting my hand where I wanted and shooting. So I
Yeah.
feel like if I were to pick it up a little bit earlier, like know what to do on my feet now, I feel like I'd be a lot better off. So
Yeah.
that's probably the one thing I'd.
Yeah, it's good advice. I think a lot of guys like coming up, even like just, I mean, I coach in high school kids, like they have this mentality that they're just going to shoot, like
Yeah.
getting to the shot and then finishing, and
Hmm.
or that it's like a setup, like a setup
Right.
to the shot, but the
Right.
setup really is it's constant hand fighting,
Hmm.
it's
And
a
like
continuous thing.
not every shot's gonna be perfect, which I have a bad tendency of thinking of. Like I don't like shooting unless I know my hand's there and the shot's there, which probably isn't the best thing in the world. But I think, yeah, if I were to know that coming up now, I think it'd be a lot better off. But I'm happy with where I'm at the
I
moment.
think you and probably like 99% of the other guys in college, it's one of those things like it's like getting off the bottom. You don't really learn how to get off the bottom great until you get to college.
Yeah. I kind of owe that to Mike Young. We do like 40-minute goes on the mat in high school. And he goes, all right, do you want to go on your feet? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And he goes, all right, well, get out then. And then he'd ride me for 45 more minutes.
That's funny. Yeah, he's like one of the just all-time greats. He's
Yeah.
doing it forever. He used to coach. He was like every year one of the Fargo coaches.
Hmm.
And yeah, I remember back in like 2001 when I went, he was there.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
all right, cool. Well, that wraps it up. Unless there's anything else that you want to talk about, but other than that, I'll let you go. Got anything else?
Not at the moment. No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, this weekend, good luck. You survived deep waters with me. Hopefully you take some guys to deep waters this weekend, and rack up some wins. But yeah, good luck. Hopefully we get a chance to catch up with you again, either before the MAC tournament or at the worst case scenario, I'll see you at nationals. We'll catch up with
Yeah.
you. But yeah, if anybody out there who wants to support Chippewas and support Corbyn, go buy a shirt on MichiganGrappler.com. We're literally printing them today to get more of them done. So I can't print them as fast as you sell them. So we're trying to keep up with you. But if we run out, we'll get more. So just keep keep at it, and hopefully we'll fill up McGuirk with a bunch of Corbyn Munson jersey tees.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. Thanks, Corbyn.
Yeah. Thank you.